Welcome to today's episode of Heard and Seen It Out. This is my take on macroeconomics, geoeconomics, politics, and some other random stuff. I do my best to make some sense of some of these things, with a little bit of nonsense thrown in. I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I enjoyed curating it. Cheers.
If life were like Hollywood, the intern would save the company 5 minutes before the quarterly earnings call. Business travel, the art of seeing the world through hotel windows and PowerPoint slides. Every startup pitch deck has 3 things: vision, valuation, and very little validation. Titles in corporations are inversely proportional to the number of emails you actually answer. Hybrid work proved one thing: meetings could have been emails, and emails could have been ignored.
Here's the one thing that America does quite well: piling on debt. From Jimmy Carter's $1 trillion tab to today's $38 trillion monster, the US national debt only knows one direction, that's up. Republicans, Democrats, recessions, recoveries, it doesn't matter. Every president promises fiscal discipline, and every one of them discovers that debt is the easiest campaign promise to break. Government shutdowns come and go, but Washington's spending habit, that's the real too big to fail. Central banks are back to their favorite pastime, cutting rates. Poland just delivered its 4th cut this year, taking rates down to 4.5%, while the Philippines has now done it 7 times, trimming rates to 4.75%. Inflation cooling almost everywhere. Growth wobbling just enough for policymakers to rediscover their inner Dow. From Europe to Asia, the rate cuts are the new black, except for Brazil, which hiked, just to remind us that someone still reads the inflation manual. When it comes to rare earths, China isn't just in the game, it owns the entire deck. Take ultra-pure dysprosium, a critical mineral used by chip makers like Nvidia to handle extreme heat. The entire world's supply comes from one refinery in Wuxi near Shanghai. And guess who controls it? Shenge Resources, a Chinese firm whose largest shareholder just happens to be, China's Ministry of Land Resources. Beijing recently upped its stake in this company to 86%, effectively taking the last piece off the global board. So when China flexes its muscles on tech supply chains, it isn't bluffing. It is actually showing a royal flush, or at least it thinks it is. In 2009, barely 2% of Indian homes had internet access. Basically, the only thing buffering faster than a video was patience. Then came mobile broadband, and suddenly the internet wasn't something you logged into, it was something that followed you everywhere. By 2014, fewer than 3 in 10 homes were online, but by 2023, that number had exploded to 8 in 10. Still, when it comes to actual usage, India is at only 58%, behind China, Brazil, and Russia. So yes, the pipes are laid, but the flow definitely isn't even. Remember when Flex workspaces were just beanbags and bad coffee for startups? Well, not anymore. In 2025, Bangalore is running the show, holding 31% of India's Flex stock, while IT and consulting firms have basically moved in full-time. ITES alone drives 45% of the demand, and even BFSI folks, the ones who once swore by cubicles, have doubled their Flex adoption in the last 2 years. Corporates now make up over a third of the total demand. So yes, the same people who once banned jeans on Friday now want creative breakout zones. The Ministry of Electronics and IT just pulled a China-style industrial policy rabbit out of the hat. And it's working. India's electronics manufacturing dream, once just PowerPoint slides and big words, is now aiming for $500 billion by 2030. The government's PLI scheme has manufacturers queuing up to make everything from camera modules to lithium-ion cells instead of just importing them. Think of it as Make in India, now with actual making. But here's the catch. To keep the momentum, India needs to extend PLI incentives for smartphone exports. Because without steady export push, Component manufacturing could lose steam faster than a budget phone battery. After years of buying up hospitals in India like there was no tomorrow, private equity firms in India are now taking them public. Think of it as the discharge summary of their investment journey. Healthy profits and ready for the IPO award. PE investments in hospitals have cooled to about $1.5 billion this year from a high of $3.6 billion in 2023. But that's not a slowdown, it's a shift. The big funds, Temasek, TPG, Blackstone, and KKR, are now focusing on multi-city hospital chains, polishing them up for the markets. After 4 years of going nowhere fast, India's IT sector might finally be getting interesting again. The Nifty IT index is down 27% from its 2024 highs, and valuations are now flirting with long-term averages. TCS, Infosys, HCL Tech all trade at around 21 to 22x earnings. Not exactly cheap, but not nosebleed either. The problem? Growth. Earnings upgrades have turned into earnings downgrades. It took the internet 13 years to hit 800 million users. And for ChatGPT, barely a year, and is already there. That's right. In tech evolution, one AI year equals 7 internet years. Forget dog years, these are bot years, and they move fast. The internet needed modems, cables, and patience. AI just needed curiosity and Wi-Fi. What took a generation of geeks to build, AI apps now scale in a coffee break. The real question isn't how fast it's growing, is whether humans can keep up. It's festive season in India, and UPI just went full Diwali mode. Average daily UPI transaction value has hit a record 96,638 crores in the first 9 days of October. That's up from 82,991 crores in September. Daily volumes over 680 million transactions. That's almost half the country paying for chai, cabs, and cashbacks at the same time. From 70,000 crores last year to nearly a lakh crores a day now, UPI isn't just growing, it's glowing.